Hello students, in this part we will be talking about the economic importance of the bacteria. Until now we have discussed about the kingdom Monera. In kingdom Monera we have studied about prokaryotic cell and the example we have seen in the bacteria. We have seen the bacteria on the basis of various characteristic feature, and now we are going to discuss about the economic importance of the bacteria. Okay. So, bacteria they are having economic importance, that means some of the bacteria can be useful as well as some bacteria can be the harmful type of bacteria. Means we are going to study about their effects on the living organisms. So, we will write down the title, that is the economic importance of bacteria. Okay, economic importance of bacteria. So, when it comes to the economic importance, it doesn't mean it is just value based. Okay, just say it's like when we talk about some earning. Okay, it's not about earning, it is about the effect of the bacteria, whether it is useful or whether it is having the harmful activity. Okay, so on the basis of the different types or the different uses of the bacteria, okay, or different category of the bacteria can be of having useful effect or as well as harmful effect. So, the useful we will write here, that is bacteria with useful activity and bacteria with the harmful activity. Now, we will discuss about the useful activity, okay, or the bacteria with the useful activity. What are those? Like we can see the uses of bacteria under various food processing industries for processing of the food material, right. So, that the food can be preserved for longer period of time, or some of the food are also produced by certain bacteria. Let us take an example. First example here we are going to discuss is the production of the curd, okay, or the bacteria which has been used is lactic acid bacteria, or it is called lab, okay, or it is also named as lactobacillus. The use of lactobacillus in the dairy industry is well known because it is responsible for production of the curd, then cheese, yogurt and other essential products which are produced from the milk, like peda is there, okay, ghee is also there. So, which can be, ghee is not been produced, but the butter can be produced by the lactic acid bacteria again, buttermilk can be produced. So, these are the different products are produced from the lactobacillus bacteria in the dairy industry. So, there is a huge use in the dairy industry. As we know, worldwidely people are consuming the milk and milk products, right. So, these milk products they are not prepared homemade, they are processed in the dairy industry. Then another example of the bacteria or the useful bacteria are found in the field of biotechnology. Now, what is biotechnology? Biotechnology, it is the applied science or the applied branch of biology that deals with the study of the scientific applications, okay, or it is the application of scientific and engineering principles for processing of raw material. So, what we are doing in biotechnology, we are processing the raw material by biological agents. Now, let us take an example, okay. We are supposed to produce the antibiotics, okay, or we are supposed to produce the vaccines, or we are supposed to produce the hormones also. Let us take an example, insulin. It is a hormone, dipeptide hormone, which has been most probably synthesized in our body. And what is its main function? Its chief function is to regulate the blood sugar level, but somehow due to certain disease like diabetes, the production of insulin is been inhibited within the body. So, we have to take this insulin from the outer source. So, how to produce this insulin? First of all, in the biotechnology we have a technology called as genetic engineering. in genetic engineering, what we are doing, we are modifying the gene sequence of an organism. Okay, we are modifying the gene sequence of an organism so that we can produce the desirable product. Now, how to improvise the or how to modify the gene sequence is that we have to select the gene which is responsible for production of insulin. Okay, when the gene expresses, it produces a protein, and generally insulin is a peptidic hormone. That means it is being produced by a gene, and that gene we have to cut and insert into the bacteria, and these bacteria are capable of producing the desirable product. And as we know, we have discussed about the reproduction in bacteria, that they multiply within 20 minutes. So within 20 minutes we can get enough amount of insulin, and that has been purified and been injected into the humans. Okay. So here the bacteria are playing a major role in the production because they are acting as a host. Okay, they are acting as a host. And how we are transferring this gene? With the help of the plasmid. What is plasmid? That is extra chromosomal set of DNA, which is also present in the bacteria itself. So first of all, we have to cut the gene, insert into the plasmid, and with the help of plasmid we are transferring that gene into the bacteria, where it will multiply. Okay, and this bacteria is acting as a host. So the product which has been formed will be the byproduct of this bacteria, that is insulin. So bacteria also play a great role in production of the vaccines, antibiotics, as well as the insulin. Okay, and with the help of technology called as genetic engineering. Apart from this, bacteria are also used in pest management. What is pest management? See, on the crop yielding or the food yielding crops, okay, we can see there will be infection of certain worms. Okay, like aphids are there, jacids are there, or corn borer are there on the corn plant. Okay, so what they do, they destroy the fruit yield quality or the fruit quality of that particular crop. So what, it becomes important to manage such pest. Okay, and how to manage such pest? It is also based on the biotechnological application that we can create the pest resistant plants. Okay, so we can produce the pest resistant plant, pest management in plants. Okay, pest resistant plant. How? Through the bacteria called, with the help of bacteria called Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, with the help of bacteria called Bacillus thuringiensis. So this is the bacteria which is responsible for production of a toxic substance, and this toxic substance, it is produced by a gene. So what we are doing, we are isolating that gene, and with the help of some other bacteria like E. coli or some other bacteria, we are transferring that gene into the plant. Okay, or there is another method called Agrobacterium tumefaciens mediated. Okay, so that is with the help of the Ti plasmid, a plasmid we have discussed, R plasmid, Col plasmid, Ti plasmid. That Ti plasmid, with the help of that plasmid, we are introducing the gene of Bacillus thuringiensis into the plant. So plants will also have that ability to produce such a protein which is responsible for killing the insects. Okay, so what here we can also achieve the pest management with the help of bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis. Apart from this, we have some more examples. Like, let's see. Now the next example is about the curing of leaves. Curing of leaves. Okay, it is nothing but a kind of method by which we can add the aroma to the leaves, such as tobacco leaves are there, such as tea leaves and the coffee beans. So they have different type of aroma. Okay, and people also are addicted to certain like nicotine. Okay, and they have a particular taste of that nicotine, so they select a particular brand, and that brand is due to the curing of leaves. Okay, which is also been accomplished by certain bacteria. Then The another part is formation of or production of what we say jute, that is called the fiber rating. Fiber rating. Okay. So how jute is been produced? Jute fibers. Jute fibers are produced from the bast of the plant. Now what is bast here? See, basically bast means phloem, right? So phloem is present in the internal part of the plant, that is a vascular tissue responsible for carrying the food material, right? So this phloem, it is internal part. So here while processing of such plant from which we are utilizing the jute, okay, what we are doing, we are implementing certain bacterias, okay. So the bacteria like Clostridium, what they do, they will decompose the soft part of the plant, that is from the outermost part, they will start to decompose, and they will, and the remnant which is produced is the bast from which the jute fibers are released and which are used to make the ropes, okay. Now the next example that we are going to study is here the use of bacteria in the process of digestion. So digestion of food, okay, it is very important process which is taking place in the all the living organism most probably. So in case of animals like the herbivores or the cattles, okay, these animals, they digest the green leafy part of the plant, okay. So as they consume this part, how do they digest this leafy portion? As we know, the animals are unable to digest the leaf material, but it is exception in case of herbivores. Herbivores, within the stomach of the herbivores or the intestine of the herbivores, there is a bacterium, okay. So we will write here digestion or cellulose digestion, you can write. So the bacterium called Ruminococcus. This bacterium is present in the intestine of the cattle, and this bacterium is responsible for production of enzyme called cellulase, and this enzyme break down the cellulose into the monomeric units like glucose, because cellulose is composed of glucose units, okay, and therefore the digestion will be done. Another example is the digestion in humans. Digestion in humans. So in human digestion also, in digestive system we can see in the intestine there is a population of Escherichia coli, which is responsible for conversion of the complex food material into simple one, okay. So what or the other Enterobacter bacteria are also present within the intestine, small intestinal part, okay. So these are acting as a symbiont within the intestine. Then apart from this, we have some more useful effects or the more useful activity of the bacteria. I hope you are getting all this. You can pause the video and you can write down the notes. Then the next we are going to discuss is, that is another, sorry, next is the, yes, we have another examples or the another useful examples of the bacteria, like in the production of biofertilizers. See, biofertilizers means what? These are the microbial inoculants which are responsible for increasing the fertility of the soil and productivity of the crops, okay. So these are the microbial inoculants. Now the microbial inoculants can be the bacteria, okay, and which are nitrogen fixers, okay. So nitrogen, as it plays an important role in the metabolism of living organism, it plays a great role in the metabolism of plants, animals and other microorganisms. So how does it plays a great role? By synthesizing the proteins, because proteins, they are nitrogen derivatives. If we talk about the genetic material which is composed of the purines and pyrimidines, they are also nitrogen derivatives. So these nitrogen derivatives, how they are produced? They are produced by the accumulation of nitrogen, right? And how this nitrogen is made available? By the bacteria. So in environment, molecular nitrogen, I am writing mole, okay, that is molecular nitrogen into nitrates. So basically it will be converted into nitrite, then nitrate, okay. So these nitrates are usable form of the nitrogen which are assimilated by the plants. Now this assimilation is also associated with some other bacteria like symbiotic bacteria, okay. So they are been located within the root of the plants or the leguminous plants generally, where they convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrates and make available for plants assimilation, okay. So that is the biofertilizer, okay. Apart from this, we have some other bacteria also like Nitrosomonas. Here you can take an example of nitrogen fixing bacteria, Nitrosomonas, then Nitrobacter, etc. Okay. So this is the biofertilizer. Then the next example can be seen, or the next useful bacteria are seen in the sewage treatment. Sewage treatment. So what is sewage treatment? Sewage, basically let's understand what is sewage. Sewage is the mixture of organic waste, that is of human as well as animal excreta, which is combining with the water, that forms a sewage, okay. So this sewage, which has been a kind of polluted water, has to be transferred to the treatment, that is the water treatment plants, okay, where the sewage, that is the hard substances, are removed from the water, okay, by means of certain physical methods called the what we say, sedimentation, okay. So within the settling tank or the sedimentation tank, we are removing the dense molecules, okay, because the centrifugation, okay, it allows the settling of the dense molecules at the bottom, and the lighter molecules will float on the surface. So here the sewage, in this way it has been treated. Later when it has to be purified, so it has to be treated with the certain anaerobic bacteria as well as aerobic bacteria, so that the biological oxygen demand of the water can be decreased, okay, because of impurities within that water. Biological oxygen demand, that is called BOD, is increased, that is demand is increased, right. Biological oxygen demand is increased. By use of the certain bacteria, such demand can be decreased and the oxygen level within the water can be maintained, okay. So the sewage treatment, there also we are using certain bacteria. Then apart from this, bacteria can be also used for the production of the enzymes, okay. So in the most of the textile industry, detergent industry, we are using number of different enzymes like lipases are there, proteases are there, which are also produced by certain bacteria. Even though in the food processing industries, we are producing the various different types of fruit juices, squash, all these products are produced by certain means they are being processed, not produced, they are processed by certain bacteria. Like pectinase is an enzyme which is used in the clarifying the fruit juices, okay. So these are the some useful examples of the bacteria. Now let's see harmful effect or the harmful activity of the bacteria. I hope you all are understanding this concept. Now the second importance or the second category of the importance is the harmful activity, okay. So here we will write harmful activity of bacteria. So what is meant by harmful activity? When we talk about bacteria, what comes in our mind? That is that this is always disease causing. Of course, some of them are also disease causing. Okay, so here we can take an example like disease causing bacteria. Okay, so disease means when our body is not at ease, that means disease or discomfort of the body is called disease. Now there are different disease causing bacteria. Let's take an example, okay, that is Vibrio cholerae causes the disease called cholera. Then we have the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mycobacterium tuberculosis causes the TB, that is tuberculosis. Okay. Apart from that, we have the some other sexually transmitted diseases like gonorrhea, then syphilis. Okay, these are also the bacterial diseases. Okay, gonorrhea is caused by the Neisseria gonorrhoeae, and this syphilis. Okay, then later, apart from this, some other bacteria are also there like Salmonella typhi, which causes the typhoid type of disease. Okay, then these are the disease causing bacteria. Apart from this, some harmful bacteria are like another harmful category of the bacteria is the denitrifying bacteria. Denitrifying bacteria. So, what are denitrifying bacteria? These bacteria are responsible for regulating the denitrification. That means they will convert the nitrates into molecular nitrogen. Okay, so the molecular nitrogen which has been already available into the atmosphere or the atmospheric nitrogen, okay, that is the form that cannot be used by the living organisms. So in such a form, the denitrifying bacteria will convert the nitrates. Okay, so these are also harmful, as there is unavailability of the nitrates, there is unavailability of the proteins as well as the purines. Okay, so the plants may suffer from the deficiency. In case of plants, the chlorophyll is also been seen. Okay, so chlorophyll, it is also composed of the nitrogen. It consists of a porphyrin ring. In the porphyrin ring, in the center, there is a presence of the what we say nitrogen atom, and surrounding to it there is a magnesium. So the nitrogen, if it is not been assimilated, there will be no synthesis of chlorophyll, that lead to the chlorosis. Okay, that is a disease in the plant. Then third example can be seen in the food poisoning. Okay, so food poisoning means, okay, food poisoning generally occurs due to the consumption of the spoiled food. See, whenever we cook the food, it will last for around 12 hours if it is kept under normal conditions, but if we refrigerate it, we can preserve it. But if we are unable to refrigerate it, what happens to that food? That food will undergo spoiling due to the activity of the bacteria if it is kept open. Okay, so bacteria, they will change the taste of the food, and due to which there will be secretion of the chemicals or the certain substances that will cause the toxicity. Okay, that is called as a food poisoning, and it can be caused by a number of bacteria. Okay, so this is about the useful as well as harmful activity of the bacteria. I hope you have understood this concept. If you have any doubts, you can WhatsApp onto the group. Thank you.